tell them all the stink and dirty. Stink and dirty.
Oh my god.
Woohoo! I am up. I'm awake. And what pain I have woken up to see. Oh my goodness. People, how you doing? Jacob, yes indeed. Let us go. I am right here. Oh my goodness. I was hoping, or rather, the plan was to really wake up at 6 a.m. and start the live stream. But as I did, and I saw Jewel open, I figured, let me wait for the first over. And then I saw the first over, and I was in pain. So I figured, you know what? I'll just let it go for a little bit. So at least now I have more stuff to talk about. But I'm here. I got the match running on my TV. For the longest while, it just did not work. But now it does. I think what happened was I was just having so much internet issues that I just unplugged a set of stuff, plugged a few things back in, and I am up and running. Oh, it feels so good to... No. Oh no. Sketchily standing on a street corner. Oh no. Yes, Starbucks Wi-Fi has helped a lot. That was that point in time where whenever I would travel, that would be the main place where we would just get internet. Because at the time, the main hotel I would stay at in Florida was undergoing renovations. So we would have to stay somewhere else and we couldn't get free Wi-Fi. So for a good few trips, we just had to rely on Starbucks. But yeah, that's just life. That's what it be sometimes. But how's everybody doing? Obviously, looking at the match, things could have started a little better. But it's everything seems alright so far. It's honestly alright so far. So yeah. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what they were doing with Jewel opening. I think my concern is that they saw how well Greaves did against Ireland, even though in domestic he's that natural opener. So I think it's very possible that they just said, you know what, we'll just put him up there, and it backfired. Yes, indeed. Hello, Steph. Feel free to jump through. Let me put in that link in here, so anyone could just come in and bad talk us. Yes, there we go. Haha. Yes. Now let me see if I can figure out how to update the score. Ooh, okay. Carty pushes for 1. Is there 2? Nope, there is not 2. Okay, so 11 overs in, and it is 59 for 1. So yeah. Okay, I don't even know who's on the team this time. Let me see if I can pull it up and see. I don't think there's any... Well, as in one major change, and that one I find a little... I mean, it's okay, honestly speaking. Yes, exactly. This playing 11. Well, I know England had to fling away Overton because he broke his finger. And that pots in. But for West Indies, they have decided to fling away Django, which it's tough, but I get it. So they bring in Mr. Shimron, so we can only see how well he does. Well, there's one other 4-man for next other 4-man, so there's always that issue. But I mean, Hetty probably had the bigger point to prove, given given his tough times as of late. Let's just put it as that. Yeah. So Hetty comes in for Django, but then I think I should have stuck with Greaves opening, just because of that's his like preferred position for domestic. But I guess they're just waiting for the Ireland series. I feel like needing that middle order push could help. But then it doesn't make sense flinging a 12-year-old Jewel Andrew to open the innings. So yeah, that's a tough one. Okay. Huh? Excuse me? Okay. Let me see. Can I add? Oh, I can add 3 people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Jacob.
Hello.
How is life?
Well, I left home at 4 a.m. to get here to help my friend move, and she's currently asleep. So life is life right now. And it's just so I'm not lying. Here is the street corner in Boston. Like I'm literally on the street corner in Boston, right?
My goodness. I don't think I've ever been to Boston. I think I was supposed to go to visit my cousin once, but I took so long he just moved somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think he had basically gone back home to New York, so yeah, we ended up not bothering with it. But yeah, that's just how it is sometimes.
It does feel like that. I mean, I'm totally biased, but this is the best city in America. It's just the truth.
I mean, yeah, my issue is because I always go to Florida. I am now I'm becoming more and more concerned for my safety.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a problem. Unfortunately.
I mean, I have been fortunate because I have never run into someone who's a anti-mask or anti-vax or any strange characters. The only funny instance I've had was someone came up to me in Spanish and was asking for something, but my brother accidentally said no hablo español, and she just walked off.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh no, we have lost Jacob.
This was your plan all along. You just brought us here so you could use your werewolf powers and eat us.
Well, no comment. Oh, he's back. Hello. What happened?
I think Starbucks temporarily knocked me off their Wi-Fi, but I'm back on their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's what Starbucks would do.
Yeah, in about a minute, I can go to a Dunkin' Donuts and actually afford the food there, and then I can use the Dunkin' Wi-Fi and not have the sounds of a street corner. But will have the sounds of a Dunkin', but it's 7 a.m., so it's not going to be that busy.
Yeah, it should be fine. I can't do that because the only Dunkin' Donuts I've been to, well, when I'm in Florida, is a drive-through. So if you go inside, there's no chairs. It's just to buy donuts and leave.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Like there's so many Dunkins here that you'll sometimes get a street that's hard to cross. So you have Dunkin' on the side of the street, right next to each other, like facing directly at each other. We have that one of those streets like that in my hometown. It's hilarious. New England really does run on Dunkin'.
Yeah. Okay, how are things looking? 61 for 2. Oh, it might be 66 for 1 now. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on Django being flung away for Hetty?
I think right now it's just a straight shootout between Django and Hetty. Not necessarily shootout in this game, but in the next series of ODIs.
Yeah.
Because Django's secondary ability, his keeping, isn't going to come into discussion anytime soon with Shea Hope as captain. So really, you're just looking at like a number 6, number 7 batter. And Hetty has his history behind him. Django has his recent form behind him. So I think it's really just a which show us head to head which can we trust more. And it's been unfortunate that Django has sort of let us down in that regard.
Yeah, I can get that too. And we've had a few people look scratchy against Ireland, and unfortunately he was one of them. But I guess it makes sense. But still, I guess we just have to see how it goes.
Honestly, my bigger concern is just the opening. Because
Yeah.
we can figure out between Django, Hetmaya, and Rutherford any day of the week.
Yeah.
But with World Cup qualifiers coming up, we cannot go into qualifiers with just King and Evan Lewis. Evan Lewis is injured for half the games we have scheduled, and out
Yeah.
of the half he does play, he's a 1 in 3. So really, he'll get one performance every 10 to 12 games when he averages out. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not.
And then Brandon King's form has been inconsistent the past 3 years.
I mean, King does get to the small bias of having just come back from injury, but still, we've seen. He hasn't really hit the ground running, but it just hasn't been looking as good.
So it's a bit frustrating because we don't have that clear third opener choice picked out. Because we tried Greaves last game because I assume because he has his regional opening abilities. And now we're trying Jewel Andrew because Jewel Andrew is more explosive. We're now figuring out what a third opener should be. What role should they occupy? And it worries me that we're waiting so late to ask that question. We could have done this like last year before with Kadima Lane and Akimo Geist and given them more developmental opportunities.
Yeah, because essentially we just. Oh, okay, Jacob, let's go pay for his food and come back. But yeah, in terms of depth, there's so little that essentially we just run into that problem close to the World Cup and say, okay, instead of developing options,
Bring in Johnson Charles, eh? We can't figure it out. Bring in Johnson Charles. He go fix it. He go score 12 from 2 ball. It go good.
Oh no. I was actually looking for makeshifts instead of future options, and that's my big issue. Because I mean, for me, the Bangladesh series was the biggest opportunity to give somebody a chance, and we ended up calling up Spiceman, who I don't think made any runs.
Yeah.
I think both games were just ducks.
To me, the opening issue is a bigger issue than a bigger discussion than a Django issue, because when you have both King and Evan Lewis being out within 4 overs, it messes with your entire batting order. Now every game, Carty and Shea Hope needs to do a rebuilding innings. And that's not fair for either of them.
Yeah. But a lot of that goes just back to the mentality of the players, because it honestly just seems like so many people will say, "Oh, I did a TT, I did all right. Someone else will finish the job." Because I remember hearing that so much during the World Cup that I just couldn't understand it. I mean, the normal person would not say, "Oh, I made TT, that was all right for today." Most people just say, "Okay, I made TT. Can I make this a 50 or a 60?" So essentially, you just have so much people with the mentality of Plan B will be someone will have to bat out of their skin.
Do the bare minimum, and someone else should take care of it.
Yes. Do your job.
And then, of course, when you approach with that mentality, naturally, 2 to 4 people are going to undershoot. Because instead of making 30, they make 10.
Yeah. Okay, still 71 for 2.
For 2, who's the other wicket?
Oh, sorry, go. Oh, sorry, 72 for 1. Sorry, I think I'm still sleepy.
What is this false information? Misinformation?
Okay, whew. Yeah, I thought I was saying the future there, but it's all good. Yeah, I think I worried myself.
I also have some concern that so much of our depth chart are just wicket keepers. So Puran is somewhere in our depth chart. He's a backup wicket keeper. Jewel Andrews a backup wicket keeper. Johnson Childs a backup wicket keeper. Andre Fletcher is a backup wicket keeper. If any one of our main bowlers or batters go down, well, mostly bowlers go down, that we're in serious issues. Because everyone in our chart is a backup wicketkeeper and not a bowler.
Yep. Yeah, there's a concern in that. I remember at some point someone was asking me what other keepers we have, and at that point in time I couldn't really name anybody because everyone that came to mind was someone who should probably be retired or someone who isn't ready as yet.
I mean, Puran isn't officially retired. Jewel Andrew has time to be trained to be a wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
Johnson Charles could do something in a pinch, and Andre Fletcher is better than Puran and Charles as wicketkeeper.
Yeah. But I still find it. Oh, bouncer. Okay, King looks like he's good. Yeah. It is tough that in terms of options, it's just going back to call up people. I mean, Bangladesh probably would have been the perfect opportunity to try out like Kadeem or somebody on as opener. Or at least that could have been a good one for Jewel to come through because he would have just had an alright TPL.
Kadeem isn't in the A squad today, isn't he?
I am not sure.
And he wasn't in the ODI A squads either, which I think is just a massive problem. Because Akeem Ogis and Kadeem Alain should be the next two people pinpointed to be an opening duo.
Yeah, they really should.
You should have them in every A squad, every academy squad, every B squad. They should be getting as many games as possible right now.
Like literally, the 13-year-old has played as many first-class games as Puran, even though it's only 5, but still. I just find that crazy.
I'm cooking right now, by the way.
Oh. What are you making?
I'm making chicken biryani.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have been making this dish since 4 a.m.
Okay. I don't even know what I'm gonna make today. I might just make pasta with baked fish. My problem was the last time I went and bought fish, it tasted so bad because while baking it just was not smelling good. I think Massey had given me probably an old fish.
Old fish was my nickname in high school.
Okay then.
I mean, all things considered, 75 for 1 is... If you tell most West Indian fans that you would be 75 for 1 in an ODI versus England, they take it.
Yeah. They're doing alright. At least it's not something below 50 after 10 overs. Oh, Carty sends it high and okay, it doesn't make it for 4. Okay. I think the best thing for Carty so far is just him being able to fix his strike rate issues.
I think he has done significantly towards that.
Yeah.
Because since coming to number 3, his strike rate has been something like 85, maybe 90.
Yeah.
Whereas at number like 4, 5, 6, his strike rate is closer to 60, 75. So I think him being in this position definitely gives him the opportunity to up his strike rate.
Yeah. But I just understand what he would have done to change that. Because into the cricket, he would have at the time probably would have just played Super 50 or 4-day. So I guess it might have just been seeing it as an issue and working on it on his own. Or probably I doubt CPL would have done much at that point in time. But maybe.
My immediate thought, without doing much homework or research into it, would be that Sammy puts Carty up number 3 because we usually have one opener failing. His low strike rate at the start of an innings gives him the opportunity to get settled in, and then because he's settled in, has the freedom to lash out in the end. Whereas if he's going like number 4, 5, 6, he has the time to settle in, but he doesn't have the time to explode at the end, or vice versa.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's just giving him a longer innings.
Yeah, but he really has improved quite as well. So it's always good to see. And King's doing pretty alright today. So again, that kind of leads into the inconsistency, but it's at least something.
This is what I was trying to tell the people in the CCP Discord, because they were trying to make the proclamation. Yeah, Carty is world class because of his average, and I'm like, a couple days ago, this entire team just got all out to Ireland. Regardless of averages, regardless of what is written on paper, you have to take in consideration the inconsistencies. And when you take that in consideration, Carty cannot be world class, King cannot be world class, Evan Lewis cannot be world class.
Yeah, but in terms of improvement, you could say Carty's just like gone up leaps and bounds. But
yeah,
in terms of
he's a
people who
massive
are
improvement and one of the best we have. But to use the term world class, I think is misrepresenting that word.
Yeah. At least in terms of people who aren't the most experienced in the side, there's always that. What ad is this? Oh, it's for WhatsApp. I just look up and I'm seeing an ad with a host of pixelated pictures, and I'm just like, what are these people sharing? But it was for WhatsApp privacy. I'm just so confused.
I'm watching on Willow, so I'm getting a lot of like trading and investment ads in British.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about Willow. I like that. I think it's part of their law that after gambling, I'd have to have one telling you not to gamble. I don't see that anywhere else. Because I always see on Sportsmasters, do you like betting on IPL and CPL and then join this site?
I just saw Joel Andrews' dismissal.
I didn't get to see it, but
Absolutely horrid stuff. He didn't follow through on his shots. Indecisiveness, didn't follow through or didn't pull out in time. So it just got chipped to right to the fielder.
Yeah, that'll always be an issue.
Hello, I am back.
Yay!
Hi, back.
Hello. Yes. I'm currently in the train station now, so this has been an adventurous day. But yes, Zero Andrew's dismissal was horrible. That was a war crime. It was I don't know what else to say. It was terrible. But yeah. What and before I left, you were talking about what I think about Tanger getting replaced by Hetty, and my thoughts are it's like it doesn't really matter. I don't think both of them are really at that level currently. That level of batter currently. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
I thought they were showing the replay of Jewel. Oh, then I drop. Okay. I got scared.
You are way behind, my guy.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with this thing. Or with this stream I have.
I don't have access to a stream right now because I don't bring my laptop, so I'm just looking at the live commentary on my phone while being done for my 2021 iPhone SE. It's a reliable thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix this. 84 for 1. Honestly, doing better than I expected. I think it's still West Indies. You can never judge a final score, but given that England had made 400 and something, or flat 400, I feel like we have to at least. Well, not even gonna come close, but I feel like something above 310 will probably be best case.
Yeah, one of the things I think about this team is it's so different than like a King or one of the other pronounced Lewis. So in this case, Andrew are doing well. It's just a completely different team. Like there's very little like there's decent batting there, Hope, Carty. That's a decent middle order core. And there's some firepower at the back ends. Not as much in ODIs, but there's some reliable batting too down the order.
Yeah.
But it's so unbalanced when your openers are making ducks all the time and you're having to rely on your 3 and 4 and 5 to make all the runs in the power play. It's just not a winning strategy.
No, not really not. I mean, we saw that in IPL with Gujarat. I mean, the best stat was their top three made more runs than Chennai in total for the season.
Yeah,
But it does show that you kind of have to have some balance.
yeah, definitely. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I
Yeah.
do think there is potential with the ODI side, at least on the batting front. It just, if Brandon King was what he was doing in like 2023, I believe that was one of his good years, or Evan Lewis was what he was basically before he went to build a house, the team would be
Yeah.
so different. It wouldn't be great because the bowling is just not very good, but it'd be passable. You know, it would be a side that would be in competition to make it to World Cups, and if they make it to World Cups, pull off upsets. But it's just not without openers and without any bowling. I don't
Mhm.
think. What I really want to see is Akil Hossain in the ODI team. I think
Yes.
that would be so transformative. He's one of the best bowlers in the world. Like, let's be honest. I rate him very highly. And Moti's not currently it. He doesn't have it right now. So, as they
Yeah.
say.
2 points. One, Steph, I see your name. I saw what you did.
What about it? What about it?
And secondly, I do not know what has happened with Akil because I don't think he's playing much cricket at all right now. Because I don't think he barely played anything in PSL. So, if he's not even playing plenty franchise cricket, I just find it very, very odd. There was a long stretch where he was literally playing just on the teams with Pollard.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because for ILT 20, he was with Pollard's team. 100, he was with Pollard's team. And then now, it's just him, and he doesn't seem to be getting any games. Jacob should be back soon.
Yeah, I told myself before the last T20 World Cup that whether or not West Indians will make a return to IPL would be dependent on our performance in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And then Hussein became ranked number 1 in the world. Moti was ranked in the top 5 in bowling, and neither of them made it to IPL. And at that moment, I sort of took on this idea that their exclusions are more political than what it says about their abilities in most franchises. And that could just be, oh, well, this particular franchise prefers domestic spinners as opposed to international spinners. Okay, no problem. I think there are also other issues at play, specifically with Hussein.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. And I think one of the things is that Moti's kind of shown that he could be a competent batter. But yeah, I do find it kind of confusing that even without well, he's there for T20s, but apart from that, we're not seeing Akil in ODIs. We're not seeing him in much else.
I think this exclusion from West Indies ODI specifically is more frustration with the qualifications from 2023, if that was the year.
Yeah.
But from franchises, I think his exclusion has more to do with politics than his actual ability.
Yeah, I can honestly see that too. I'm checking to see what the last thing he would have played is, and I'm not seeing anything. I think it was literally just he played one game in PSL, so that's really it. Interesting. Okay. 89 for one battle.
He played one PSL and then ILT 20s.
Yeah. Oh, was that a drop? Or it might have been. I'll have to check that back. Yeah, our D20 was just weird. Cause that for me is that will always be my betting league,
Mm.
or rather the one I see as the most betting.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think second has to be Sri Lanka, not just because of confirmation like actual betting, but I think it's just because so much people have been arrested or charged with it. 'Cause, I mean, if you have a league and the day before the league starts, you have a team getting disqualified because the owner got arrested. That doesn't speak well. Jokes. 93 for one. Okay, let me see what Carty does. Pushes. That should be two. No. Panda the Marinator. My goodness.
Yeah, my chicken is marinating.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah. I don't eat chicken. I can't remember the last time I had chicken. I think no, I know exactly what it is. My brother eats chicken, and he had poked me with a chicken fry, and so I took it and ate it, just to spite him.
Mm.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I was gonna use eggplant instead of chicken in a biryani, and then I forgot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough.
Looks like both King and Carty are eyeing up 50s. King on 43 from 45. Carty's on 45 from 53.
He's doing pretty good. Who else do we have in this side? Let me see. I think it's very possible Rutherford will come back because he got eliminated. I don't think he'll make it for the next match because I think that's Tuesday. I don't think so. Isn't the Ireland T20s right after this? Let me check and see.
Schedule is really messed up, my guy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that it's back and forth.
England
but,
T20 is right after. The first England T20 is on the 6th of June.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So it was Ireland ODIs, England ODIs, England T20s, and then Ireland T20s. Okay. Okay, not bad. Oh, and then the Australia test. Whew.
Well, I mean, West Indies are playing right now, but I think we could also cut over to another massive game going on. Austria versus Switzerland in a T20 match.
Oh my.
Austria has put up 190 runs for 3 wickets. Switzerland are 71 for 4 after 9 overs.
That's not it's not that bad. You have to say.
Oh lord.
Wait, speaking of games like that, did you see the UAE game where everyone retired?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, basically the rain was coming, so everyone in the team just retired hurt. So they had a chance to bowl out. I think it was Qatar, and then they bowled them off like 20 runs. Cause they, had the game been at a draw, they wouldn't have gotten enough points to qualify. Yeah. So it was just very funny because they brought up the discussion of should there be an option to declare in white ball.
I just sent you a DM, by the way.
Harsha Madaranga Deshan Talambura Hetagi. What a name. Yeah. It's like Hasaranga's, was it Winindu? No, it's Pina Winindu, Wanage, Hasaranga the Silva. It's like some long name, but is listed as the Silva technically being his last name. So on some Sri Lankan matches, they'll say the Silva, and I have no idea who they're talking about. And then I see Hatsaranga. Shubham Sharma, West Indies don't have a proper backup opener. Yes, but that I just want to see someone be given the role of a backup and not just as a makeshift option. Yes, Sri Lanka names do go hard.
I
Yeah,
that's the point we were making earlier, is that
yeah.
we really need to work out his depth chart, because King and Evan Lewis cannot be our permanent solution as alone.
Yeah. Because not wishing injured anybody, but to say that if one person, well, it's not just injury, but if one person isn't doing well, then we're in a situation where we are forced to stick with them.
I mean, yeah, that's really what happened to King just now. He wasn't doing well. We were forced to stick with him, and now he has the opportunity to make a 50.
Yeah. Especially because when you're looking at how do I say this? Because everybody together, but there's not really options. You just kind of have to give them that run against a big team like England. Had it been, yeah, Ireland could have been a chance to try out people and then bring someone here, but against England, you kind of have to play the best players, because now is not the opportunity to call up a Charles or a Spiceman. It's funny. Okay, I'm trying to put together something here, but it's taking very long. It's gonna be something fun.
Alright, so I found the game you're referencing. It's UAE women versus Qatar women.
Yeah.
UAE women batted first, making 192 runs. And yeah, that is everyone retired out.
Yep. Yeah.
Most of them retired out facing a ball, actually. It's only the openers that actually face deliveries.
Yeah, like literally saw rain was coming and all retired. So I think that, from my understanding, they had to have the discussion that if you could all retire here, but it would go with a dock on your record. So I think everyone just said they were fine with it. Because it meant they would have a chance to come and bowl.
And then they bowled out Qatar women for 29 runs.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, they made 192. Their opening batter, their captain opening batter herself, made 113.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how well some of these women games go. Because you're just looking at some of the scores, you don't really expect it. But it's interesting. Because it's not just that Australia or England will give you the good women's games. You're seeing it in a lot more other teams.
I think that's kind of indicative of the structure across the board for women's sports not being underdeveloped. That is almost evens out some of the roughness that are in men's games.
I can see that too. Okay, Adil Rashid is on now. Oh, Carty gets his 50. Yes, big up the man. Big up the youth, man. Beautiful. Is Moti good enough? Yeah. Is Moti good enough in English conditions? I had seen Mash's video about it. In my personal opinion, it's a little similar to the slump we've seen with Rashid Khan, where it's not just from injury. It seems like he's trying to bowl a bit faster, but in doing so, he's dropping a lot shorter or wider. So that time it looks like the ball isn't just coming out as well. But that's just me. I remember seeing it during the it was the Africa Test series, and then again in the Pakistan Test series. Because when they were doing a speed comparison, I think Moti was was so much faster. Probably like I think 10 kilometers per hour more. And they're just showing the spot maps, and Moti was just way less accurate compared to the other two. But this would have been work on.
Brandon King is on 48 runs and he is facing, so we could potentially see a double quarter century coming up now.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. Oh, he could not stop that for. Yes, King. I'm also kind of surprised that Antigua Falcons flung away King.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean they kind of soft confirmed it by not having him listed as it was a Cornwall's fitness trainer. He had it. Yeah, he pointed out that when they had shared the post of their players, they didn't include King. Yeah, but it's also very weird how Barbados just got rid of so much people. They got rid of Holder, they got rid of Alex, they got rid of Obed, and they got rid of Cornwall.
Yeah, I think it's just been so long that Barbados has not been able to win a CPL that they're kind of getting desperate at this point.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird that they flung away some of the proper Bajans or the well-known players. So it just has me concerned that is either they wanted to leave or management didn't want them.
Barbados have not won a CPL since 2019. They literally have not won a CPL since COVID.
Yeah. They reached the final, but that's really it.
So I think it's for some of them I think it's on a case-by-case basis. So I could potentially see the argument being made that Holder wanted a change of scenery. I could see management being very upset with Cornwall because even last year it looks like the team didn't know how to use Cornwall properly because they weren't bowling him.
Yeah, he had like a knee thing for quite a while, but at that point, you're playing him just as an opening batter, and it wasn't working. But yeah, it just shows the lack of depth because I think Kadeem only came into play when Cornwall had to be ruled out for a bit.
So I think for Cornwall specifically, it's that the management or the team just don't understand how to use him. Outright, he went to St. Kitts to develop his bowling because he wasn't getting bowling opportunities in Barbados.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the Rhine where because they have the opportunity to come off, you could only really play them as opener. Right, next four, yes. Okay, that was Carty. I thought it was King.
Ooh. I'm like 1 or 2 balls ahead, and I just almost saw Carty get ran out.
Whew. Yeah, I think specifically Sky Sports that has been a lot slower. Or the time where Sportsmax was so far behind that I'm pretty sure it was over because I'd watched to see my uncle watching the game and he was already beyond the drinks break and drinks break hadn't started for my feed yet.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing injury tests for that run out. Looks like Carty landed on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's never good.
I mean, you'll see the runouts when it comes up on your screen.
Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So another interesting thing I know about Al Rashid is he's looking a lot more expensive, but he's still getting wickets. So I don't know. I think it just speaks bad of us, or at least the quality in terms of just wicket taking.
Mm.
That's real funny. Oh yeah, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, that's a little rough.
I think England have given away so many wicket opportunities this game. Ooh.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, you'll see what I just saw in a bit. But England have given away so many wicket-taking opportunities this game. They have, 3 or 4 drop catches. I think 2 run-out opportunities. That run-out opportunity are just gone. If it was fielded better, it would have been out.
Yeah.
England are playing. I don't know if it's our skill has risen. I think England are playing more laxed. That they have lowered their levels since the last game.
Yeah, I can kind of see that too.
Or maybe it's both, that we raised by 5 to 10% and they dropped by 5 to 10%.
Yeah. I mean, winning a game by like 250 runs might incline you to drop that level a bit, but still.
Mm-hmm. That's the 50 up for Brandon King.
Woohoo!
Kind of controversial 50, but it's a 50 nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a decent innings. Okay. Just so you talk about that bump ball. Yeah. Stress. Okay. Okay. And okay, brings it up now. Yeah, I'm far more behind than I expected. But yeah, big up to the king. Well, big up the king. Okay, Hope would come in next, but I think after that, if okay, so we have King, we have Carty. Well, if either one of them falls, Hope comes in. But if our next one falls after that, do you send in Greece or do you send in Hetmeyer?
Depends on how quickly Shea Hope falls. If Shea Hope falls for Duck, Greaves.
Okay.
Because I think Greaves has the potential to hold down a side until it's good enough for Hetmeyer to come in.
That's valid.
Or at least that's what his role is supposed to be. But I think if we're at even the 35th over, by the time Shea Hope falls, I think 35th onwards, you could probably send in Hetmeyer.
Yeah. I just think it would be funny if Hetmeyer doesn't batter and he's out by the next game. But I don't
By
think
what?
that
Hasina.
Look, I see that so many times with some matches where men don't play and then they just drop from the next game. They just have to ask, but why? What justified them being left out?
What did he do?
He made no runs because he didn't bat. He got no wickets because he doesn't bowl.
But yeah, our batting in this game is really short. because in your top 4, one of your top 4 is Jewel Andrew. So really, you have 3 batters this game.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause left to come, there's Hope, there's Greaves, and then there's a gamble on Hetmeyer, and then
There's also
a decent, you get a decent hand by Chase.
Chase at 11.
Yeah, Chase will give you a decent hand. I don't think Ford could replicate his Ireland heroics against England.
England would have to be very full of themselves and put Jacob Bethel or something against them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've had my eye on Matthew Ford for quite a while, and it's solely because I remember seeing his name, and I just found it very, very interesting that when he played in the Lanka Premier League, he would bat at 3 and he made a 50. So I just found that hilarious that men were being given top order roles in franchise leagues before they were ever part of West Indies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is very like the Alzari joke. The man very literally batted at 3.
I mean, yeah, that just goes to show how fundamentally poor we are at raising new talent, at giving them opportunities. I mean, we only really introduced the rule to have youngsters in prominent positions in like CPL and Breakout League recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shobham is a good point. Yeah, Shobham is a good point. We now have tournaments for all the formats because we can exclude CPL because it's not really
it's not really helping. We don't have much say over that.
Yeah. Yeah, Breakout League, Super 50, and 4-day.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Breakout League, I think it'll be good if it plays in different islands, because it can't just be Brian Lara for the whole thing.
Yeah, even within Trinidad, you have to hop around to different stadiums.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll make it longer by having some phases in different islands, because it's just so short on its own. The only way you could double it is having everybody play each other twice instead of just once.
Mm.
Kind of like how the same issue with women's CPL, because everyone just plays each other once, and it's like a week-long tournament.
Mm.
Like, I'm also surprised. I'm surprised they haven't had any more women's CPL teams.
Mm. I mean, our player pool just isn't big enough to support more women's CPL teams. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So unless you want to invite USA women's or Canada women's to fill it out, and
we're doing that for Super 50, so you can very well do that for this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, circling back to us now having a tournament for each format, I am very hesitant. I mean, I acknowledge that, but I'm also very hesitant to big that up, so to say. Because we've had Super 50 in some form for decades. We've had the 4-day championship in some form for decades. And we're still in the position where we are now. So I don't necessarily think having a breakout league necessarily leads to more development. But because we've seen it fail in Super 50, and we've seen it fail. We've seen that concept fail in 4-day before.
Oh yes.
It's really how you implement policies surrounding the tournament. So if one policy of having the tournament reserved for youth players, yes, that's good. What other policies can be implemented to further that development of young players?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because CPL doesn't really develop anybody, but in case of this, what I liked about Breakout League this time, or the first time, but what I liked was a lot of the players that you saw performing weren't necessarily the ones who you know from CPL or West Indies. So it's at least a starting point, because with Super 50, it was just everyone you expect to. But then it was worth because you saw the people who play for West Indies not perform. Most and then I got that won't even there.
Crick Info doesn't even have a stat page for Breakout League.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything for it, so I think it literally just had to. It was just because it just wasn't covered.
Because I'm trying to look for the stats on it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the most wickets being Mackenzie, Jediah Blades, Navin Badesi, Mahays, and Ryan John. I mean, out of these, yeah, that really backs up what you're saying. That Ryan John is really the only one here who has any sort of CPL identity. Navin Badesi is like a tier 2 domestic player from Trinidad, a tier 2 club player. Jediah Blades obviously has his maiden West Indies call-up, so that'll be the second name in this list.
It is West Indian heritage to have some teams just stink it up, but at least it wasn't consistently stinker. Well, there were a few times where people just did nothing and just threw away games. But it's also sad that you're seeing people struggle to perform at CPL. So, like, okay, they might need a league like this to show what level they're at. But then you're seeing people still fail at this level. So you're just like, but where's their cricket at? Because other than that, it was Shadrach, and man was doing all right in some CPL games, but not great for the most part. Like, okay, if he plays at this level, what can he do? But then he still did just as bad. There's just like a state of some people just don't have the cricket skills to even play at what should be their level at this point.
Yeah, my biggest concern with the Breakout League actually would be the low strike rates across the board. So we know already that games in the West Indies are low strike rates compared to international games. You see that across the board for franchise games. So CPL games have lower totals than something like an IPL game, PSL game, ILT 20. But even international games that are played in something like Brian Lara Cricket Academy will have, on average, a lower totals than in other countries. So it was expected to see low strike rates. But even if you look at like the most runs scored, most of those came at about a 100 strike rate, 120 strike rates. And if we're looking to eventually replace players like Puran, replace players like Rutherford, I'm watching that 100 strike rate with great concern.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes back to a lot of people's. I don't know the player's name, but I just remember seeing in the interview saying that he just finds the format a little overwhelming because he's just so used to T10 cricket. So I mean, if that's people's first introduction to the sport, then that's not speaking very well. If all you have is a game where your only role is to probably bowl like 1 over and bat for like 2 overs, and or it's only just hit ball, see ball. So I guess some people will kind of give an idea of if I can just come in and lash ball for 1 over, and then I should be able to do it for the next 10 overs in a T20 game, but it doesn't work like that. When would they announce the T20 squad for the West Indies? We always announce squads so late. They'll probably announce it like the day before the match or like 2 days before.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're waiting for IPL to finish.
Yeah. The only person they're waiting for is Shepherd. So they don't really have to wait for anything per se.
I mean, you have to wait for Shepherd, because if you don't take Shepherd into your main bowling lineup, who do you put? We only have like 4 bowlers.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 1 match to play, so regardless of the result, he would have to come home. Yeah, but when is that? When is that before? I forgot because of the reschedule. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's ought to have a big final on a Tuesday, but then given the rescheduling, you would have to wait an extra week to put on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the third, and is that the same day? Yeah, the same day as the last ODI. But that's the
Okay,
third.
check times. Check what time each of them starting, because it could very well be possible game finishes and man runs to a plane.
Yeah, like literally, that's what happened for PSL final. They had Sikander in the playing 11, and man was on the drive from the airport to the stadium.
I'll give you a better story. I think it was an MLC game. Puran played, and while they were giving out the trophies, Puran had to run off to go catch a plane.
No, that was it was the series against India, where Puran had left and he couldn't collect the player of the match award.
Mm. But yeah, there is a precedent for it, so it's very well possible that Romario Shepherd plays that game. Or even if he finds out he's on the bench, he says, okay, no problem, and then runs off and catches a plane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just real funny seeing people have to struggle with that, because no, it was also Puran where in the 100, his kids didn't arrive with him, but because he's sponsored, he couldn't play with anything else. Someone had to borrow kits from somebody else in England, just because of the sponsor. That's real funny. Big swing from Carty and misses. Okay, Shubham. If they had transfer Fabian Allen T20Is, I honestly don't know what's up with Fabian these days. Because I don't think he's played anything. I think he's, apart from CPL, I don't even know what he's played besides CPL. I think it might have been SA20. I think...
I wouldn't be surprised if Fabian is playing some T10 games in the regional setup. In the regional, sorry. As long as Akil Hussein and Moti are in a squad, I don't see any spot for Fabian Allen.
Yeah.
Especially when the backline of the T20 batting lineup is stronger than the openers.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Rutherford in there, you have Shepherd in there. Who else do you have in the backline? I mean, Shea Hope will be there now. Puran will probably be middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it'll probably likely be Hope and somebody opening. Puran at 4, Hope at 3.
In the ideal world, you'd have Jigger Rust in there as well.
Yeah.
So, and occasionally you might have a Matthew Ford in there with his power hitting abilities. I don't see... It's unfortunate because Fabian Allen's a slow left arm. We have two supposedly world-class slow left arm bowlers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the team have started outperforming what Fabian Allen can do with the bats. So that just leaves Fabian's fielding. And it's a really hard sell to take a man just to field.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that few times in CPL where he would just come out with intention to try and hit a 6-first ball, and we saw it in SA22. But I found it very interesting that Sri Lanka was the only one who used him primarily as a bowler, because he would almost every game he bowled like all 4, and then he would take wickets to dance up the place. So that okay, there's confidence there, but then they didn't really see much else.
I think there's a higher chance we see Hayden Walsh Jr. again than we see Fabian Allen. Because at least Hayden Walsh Jr. provides a different bowling style, a bowling style that no one really has in the Caribbean at that level, even though he's not great.
Yeah. I mean, the other weird thing was, I think it was Super 50 from 2023, where he got the all-rounder the season, because he was batting at 5 and 6, and then he just went back down to, I think, 9 and 10. I wasn't making runs. But that's also what got him back into the West Indies side for that Sri Lanka tour, and then man was still struggling, so that's just how it is. Here we go. Okay, 78 from Carty. Wait,
I have bigger
Okay, then
eyes
sorry.
trying
Okay.
to look out for Shema Springer than I have trying to look out for Fabian Allen.
Yeah, I do have big hopes for Springer, but I'm pretty sure I know he was injured for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no. The exact wording from Windward Islands cricket was he was out with an injury. They didn't finish the sentence. They just said he was out with an injury. I'm just thinking,
King's wickets.
oh dear.
Not very regal. That was very coup d'etat like, actually.
We.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it as yet. This is.
Yeah, you'll have to wait like 15 minutes for you to catch up.
Oh yeah,
By the
because the end is
time you
over.
catch up, a T10 game could have been played.
Tough. Oh, interesting statement here. Springer and Terrence Hines fighting for one spot.
Huh?
You're the perfect person to discuss this point. I'm so glad you're here. Take it away.
Huh? I disagree. First of all, I don't think Terrence Hines is fighting for anything. I think Terrence Hines on his back floating around like a turtle right now.
I find it so funny. It makes it so much funnier that the provocative is Bravo.
When we talk about Shema Springer, we specifically refer to a sort of sort of pacing all-rounder, someone who could potentially slog a few balls at the back end, or if you need someone to hold out 4 overs, 5 overs, can do that. And the reason we point to Shema Springer is because of what he has done in the 40 and Super 50, I think it was last year or a year before, where he was, I think, the best performing all-rounder. So that's really why we look at Shema Springer. And then he replicated that to some degree in CPL last year in Antigua. Yeah. Famously, his chest roll was on display for everyone. Terrence Hines, I think if Terrence Hines was at the peak of his ability and was 10 times better than what he is now, I don't see him as being a hard hitter at the end. I see him specializing straight into pace bowling.
Yeah, honestly.
But first of all, because he doesn't offer much with the bats in terms of batting abilities. And two, well, obviously he's not great with the ball. I think
Shema Springer he could offer with the bat, but it's not something that sets him apart from somebody else.
I will clarify. Terrence Hines did, I think, have like 1 or 2 good back-end innings in CPL.
Yeah. Did you tell me that everyone was shocked that he hit that 6 against Barbados?
Yeah. yeah. So after that game, we were speaking to some of the players, and one of the players said, everyone was saying, nah, we can't trust Terrence Hines hit no 6. Nah, this cab, we lost the game. And then Terrence Hines said, I think 1 6, 2 6s. And they was like, you could hit a 6? You know what a 6 is? So, yeah, when we were talking about, a sort of all-rounder Andre Russell type, someone to replace Andre Russell, Terrence Hines is not a name that ever comes to my mind. Terrence Hines is also like 32, 33.
Yeah, he's a lot older than he looks.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shema Springer is 28, 29 because he was in Hetmeyer's under-19 ODI Cup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shema has age on his side. He has the actual role that we're looking at in terms of being an all-rounder, and I think he has a consistently higher ceiling than Terrence Hines with both bat and ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that man has been missing and in the wilderness for like a year.
Oh, thank you, Atina. Yes, fighting only for the best celebration dance.
No, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, Heinz is.
So I have to give it to Springer, that chest roll.
Yeah.
I cannot remember what Terrence Hines' celebration dance is. All I remember is a little triangle he used to hold up.
Yeah, but that's his family, because I think everyone had passed during COVID. So there's at least that, the significance for it. Yeah. I think I was trying to look up a video of him bowling, and that was the first thing that came up was, I think it was Nikhil asking him the meaning behind the celebration. I think he said because he lost his mom and sister during COVID.
From what I remember, he lacks a lot of control. And he does not have a great mental fortitude for bowling. So if he misses one or two balls, he just starts spraying and praying.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that's another part of West Indian heritage there, but it is what it is.
If we're looking at Terrence Hines to be the replacement Andre Russell, we might as well start looking at Odin Smith again.
Yeah, I honestly, okay, I don't even know where I don't even know where to start with Odin.
Hey. If he had to be dropped from every franchise on the planet to return to 4 days, seriously, and somehow has been doing not horribly in 4D relative to 4D standards. So maybe we just have to start revisiting conversation, except not with white ball, with red ball.
I mean, yeah, but I just find it so I don't even know where to begin, because I think it was I know it was ILT20 where of all people there was Danny Morrison having a nice conversation with him, saying that he had spoken with him and Bravo, and he said Odin was talking about how in trying to become more of a contribute more with his bowling, that was where he lost his bowling action. I don't know what that means.
I agree. So Odin Smith his strength has always been express pace. Early in his career in CPL, he was bowling 150 to 155 easy. And he was swinging his bat so hard, his bat was shattering in his hands. You could look up the clips.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, but he broke stumps,
he never had proper accuracy, and he always lacked game knowledge. My interpretation, watching his career, is that his coaches or him or someone in his circle got him to focus on accuracy, got him to focus on building that technical skill and game knowledge. And while trying to build his accuracy, he lost most of his speed. And he never actually built the accuracy. So what you're left with is someone who isn't that fast, who has no accuracy, and who still doesn't have much game knowledge. So that is how I have interpreted his career. And that was led to him being dropped from most franchises. Yeah. If he can rebuild that knowledge and rebuild that skill and develop accuracy in 4D and is brought into a West Indies A game at some point, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, but it's also very interesting that while Odin was taken off, Shepard didn't take off, but into the franchise leagues, Shepard wasn't doing anything, but he was still becoming a better player. Yeah, Odin is like Chemo. I mean, kind of. I think Chemo's bigger issue was just injury.
And attitude, to be very honest.
That one I don't know about. But
don't know about?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, I haven't heard anything about it, but I would believe you.
Maybe that's an off-stream conversation.
Okay. Well, I also know about match awareness from that Zimbabwe game.
I'll never forget the time I was watching a CPL game. Odin Smith was bowling the last over, and he was bowling the last ball. He bowled the ball well. It was a good ball. It was going to be a dot ball. But then he picked up the ball and tried to run out the batters, and he missed the run out. And because he missed, the ball rolled to 4. And that's what I mean when I say he doesn't have game knowledge or doesn't have game awareness.
Oh, there was another game, unless I'm misremembering, but there was one where after he collected the ball, he threw it once, like he was upset, and it just stuck on next run.
Yeah. Something
I mean, he also lost an IPL game like that because they needed 13 from 3, and he tried to get a run out, and he missed so badly that they were able to sneak in a 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just got pelted for 6 twice, and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of something. I was trying to check and see who had debuted while Desi was a selector, and who's still in the side right now. And I'm trying to find out exactly who it is, but I'm not seeing. I think most of the players aren't in the side anymore. The big ones.
Which side we're talking about?
Or just debuted in general for just debuted for West Indies while Desi was selector. I think the majority of them, I think the big one is Myers, and he's kind of gone. I think the only person who's currently there still might be Shamar, and I don't know who else.
I mean,
Alzari.
Gabba wasn't the Gabba team Desmond's last pick or something, or one of his last picks.
Yeah.
So technically, Alec is in there because Alec debuted. I think 2 series before that. Hodge is playing in the A squad for his spot. I mean, not Brathwaite.
Yeah, I think it's really just those 4: Alec, Hodge, Alzari, Shamar.
I think there are 1 or 2 other players. I think the issue was that we were throwing out players for almost no reason.
Yeah.
We would do anything right now to have Blackwood back in the team. We would do anything right now to have Bonner back in the team.
I don't even know how old is Bonner.
38.
Really?
Old. Too old to come back is the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know his exact age, but his age is too old to come back.
Let me see. Oh, he's 36. Okay, that's not that bad.
Not that old. Even if he comes back, how much of a career will he have? How much impact will he have? By the time he comes back, we'll already have to be dealing with a succession crisis.
Yeah, and that's a conversation I have with some of people I know. Every time they ask me, do I think they'll pick Jason Mohammed in the test side? Because either way,
Jason Mohammed just for the memes.
Yeah, but either way, it feels like a lose for West Indies cricket because if you pick him, you're saying that it took someone to reach the age of 39 for them to begin dominating the franchise level. And if you pick him, you're saying that you have no issue picking someone who honestly won't have a career more than a year or 2 because he's 39.
Yeah, the minute you pick Jason Mohammed, you can never, ever, ever, ever say in the future this other player is too old to get chosen.
Yeah, Darren will be vexed if they pick Jason.
Jason Mohammed.
Yeah.
What are chances for Joshua De Silva career in the future? I don't think Joshua is done. The man is 26. JDS is not that old. He is 26. He is the same age as... I think he's younger than Carty.
Yeah.
So, even if he is dropped now... Okay, let's put it this way. let's pretend Darren Sammy has 3 years as test coach, which I think is a lot, but let me just pretend it's 3 years as test coach. By that time, Joshua De Silva is 31 and can still come back under the next coach selector role, whoever that is.
Yeah.
I don't see Joshua's career is not over.
I honestly don't see it. I do think it was kind of tough for that drop, but it was kind of understandable. But
no, I don't think it was. You've invested 3 years with this man as vice captain, my guy.
no, I mean, for like that Pakistan match, yeah. So I mean, yeah,
okay, maybe the Pakistan drop was understandable. What is not understandable is him not being in the A squad today. And
that one I don't understand.
Because he was a vice captain candidate and the highest run scorer for 4D. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think after this breakout league, we might see if he stays with St. Kitts, we might see them actually play him. Because I think, no, he got a big run when they had won, and then I think after Bravo had left, he just stopped playing. Like he might have played, I think, one game.
I think his breakout league score will help him.
Yeah. I'm also curious.
He became top 5 run scorers for breakout league.
Yeah. Yeah, he had done very well, so I'm happy to see that too. I'm also curious how what Breakout League will do in terms of CPL. Because will it be that Breakout League players now replace last score immersion player? Or is that it'll be something separate too? Because they didn't post it up anywhere. And I think the stream where Nikhil had mentioned it wasn't one viewable for me. I think someone had shared the clip video saying that at least 18 players have to be picked. And that Breakout League players have to play every game. Or I think
I remember seeing a rule like that.
Yeah. He had brought it up. It was one of those small graphics. But again, it shows how little information that they put out there.
I don't think they know as yet. CPL is in like September. I think they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that isn't just a CPL decision, that's a stakeholder decision, that's how much do we want to partner with this league? Is that league asking for money to do this kind of decision? Like, there's a lot of minutia and bureaucracy that needs to be worked out with a decision like that. Yeah. Does a player who played for Trinidad go to TKR, or can they go to St. Kitts? Does the owner of TKR or St. Kitts want that? Because remember, not all players are good with their owners, and not all players are good with their birth boards.
Yeah.
So we could genuinely see situations where players play for Trinidad Legions, but might prefer playing for a team like St. Kitts. That sort of deal needs to be brokered.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't rush it. Would they have time?
Yeah, like it could be a situation where someone will say, "Oh, Josh did very well. We want him in TKR," but then they could say, "Well, we had him before, and we want to keep him because Spiceman is 50, and we need someone to open it."
Yeah, but even someone like I'm just calling names. They're not necessarily breakout league names, but they're examples of players who have differences with boards. So someone like Solizano, who isn't on particularly good terms, last I heard, with Trinidad's board, that could play a role. It's not uncommon for players to have varying relationships with their boards and franchise team owners.
Yeah. I mean, another thing we see so little of in the IPL because some owners are just there and they don't bother. So some people say they've never even met the owner or know who it is. I think Shami said he has no idea if the owner's a man or a woman, so because they've never met anybody.
in CPL.
For IPL. Like some, they have so little involvement with some stuff, but then you have instances of like Punjab where owners try to get sometimes a little too involved. Yeah. In this case, okay. After pause, what I was gonna say. Shubham, I'll come back to your point. Who is this? Let me see. TKR supporter. What's her name?
I do have to go, by the way. My chicken has stopped needing marination, and now it needs cooking.
Yeah, I heard your alarm going off.
Yeah.
Start a feeling. Okay, take care.
Alright, it was fun. It was nice.
Thank you. Yep. It's just me for now. If anyone else wants to come through, I can put back in the link. So you feel free to come through and talk about anything in terms of cricket. But yes, the Pakistan drop was only because the captain tendered a resignation. The incoming captain didn't seem as a future captain. If it was for his run of bad forms only, there were others. That's very true. So it could be very possible that they would have said, given where Josh is now, he might not be ideal to take over. But still, having been vice captain at that point, yeah, it is tough. But it could very well when they didn't see him at that option, as being ready as yet. But I do hope to see him make back some of the sides. Yeah, we don't want to be an next situation where we have someone who clearly had potential, or rather has potential, and just a little dispute or a little not dispute, just a small run, and they don't come back. Dogs are awake. Yeah, that's another good point too. Thank you, Shubham. Because players have to, some players should realize that because points are at stake and is between making it to the World Cup versus having the two qualifiers again, everyone should consider that, it's not just a situation of let me make a 30 because someone, or Hope will make a 50 or Carty will make a 100 or something. It's like, I should be able to contribute as much as possible, so there's less pressure on the people who know they have to perform because no one else does. Like, I mean, surely they should surely they should recognize that me performing well is not only just good in general, it's good for me, but also it could make the difference between my team going directly to the World Cup or having to risk not qualifying and going through qualifiers. But yeah, that's just a struggle with us in these. Okay. 175 for 2 after 30 overs. It's looking pretty good. I would say that we would have to hit 200 after, going into the last 10. I think if we lose a wicket now, I feel like they might have to send in Greaves. But ooh, nice 4. Yes, beautiful Carty. Yes. Yes. 95. And you see this replay. Ooh, almost caught. Well, almost stopped, but yes. Big up Carty. Yeah. Okay, going back to Shubham. I like Adil Rashid more than Rashid Khan in the consistency. Yes, but I think Rashid's injury concerns have played a very, very big part. I find it very interesting that a lot of places have just referenced him coming back from just a regular injury and not necessarily surgery, because I think the way he's spoken about it, it was harder for him to maintain his speed, or at least stop him from dropping the ball shorter, because he has ball a lot shorter and kind of wider, and then attempts to go fuller, it's come out just like full tosses. But there's at least that. Rashid has just that consistency. But I was saying earlier, I do find it interesting that we've seen times where Rashid has gone for runs, but he's still getting the wickets. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah. Hello, Afina. Yeah, Josh was. It was tough, but I think seeing what he's done in Breakout League, it'll only do him good. Because there's enough to say that, okay, he's got to that game. Well, at least it shows how well he can do, knowing that he's not having to just bat with the tail. Knowing that, hey, I have to be the one to put up runs, or I have to kind of push harder because it's literally just me and Alzario Moti. Yeah. Sure, yes. Saki Mamu just likes to mash us up. I don't know what it is. That England tour was down horrendous. It was just pure pain and suffering. But that's just how it is sometimes. Yeah, a lot of players like playing against us because they just get that good debut or good start. But yeah. CWI had JDS and 2 young female TD players in attendance at the recent course sponsorship renewal. Yeah, I've seen Josh in quite a few things, honestly, but just it's still weird at times where, like, I mean, it could very well be because even in all the Caribbean Airlines magazines, they still have Jamaica Towers in some of the pictures. And I think the picture they have talking about CPL still as the big party in sports. I think it's of Spiceman getting run out. Like, I mean, there's better pictures you could pick for some of these things. I mean, honestly. But yeah, it's just very funny. Because if you're advertising this big league, I honestly don't think someone in the one who's like titty getting run out makes for a good picture. Yeah, very, very funny. Who else does England have right now? Let me just take a quick look at this during the drinks break. I forgot Jax to say, yeah, just the one over Rashid, Cuss. And no one's going overly expensive. Like, I expected them to slip in probably some of, or probably maybe Jax, I guess. Maybe like a few of Battle. But, yeah, they're going alright. I think they're doing pretty well so far. I was just looking, I feel like they have to get for me, they would have to, I would say, 200 before the 36th over. And then going into the 40th over, maybe like 215 at least. They've got that good foundation, so they're doing pretty well. Okay, let's see here. 2 young players. Injured Howard, Joseph, Chanel Saul. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know some of these names, but I do think that's good that they're getting some players out because, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, we see in a lot of franchise leagues where some teams will come out and rally to support some of their local players, per se, or like some of the emerging players. You don't really see that here because, I mean, if for example, I think the best one was Rian Parag in IPL, where because he's from, or wherever he's from, was it, I don't remember if it was Jaipur or not Jaipur. I don't remember but where he's from, his state. He had a lot of people come out to support him because he was the stand-in captain. So in a case like this, you would imagine that you would get some more trainees or just more people coming out to support their local players because you would know that they're having a prominent role and not just being stuck batting at it and bowling one over. So there's at least that part. Matty Ford was our best bowler after Alzheimer's injuries, cost him at back foot now. Seals is more important. Yeah, I do like what I've seen from Seals in terms of his white ball game, because I do think there's a lot of improvement there. Mostly for the ODI side, just because, well, for him is probably the closer to red ball until he's getting that long spell. But for Ford, someone he's someone who I'd really liked in 4 years, so I think he has that game now to kind of just be, I would say, like, more consistent in that aspect. Because we have had the issues with consistency in some of the Ireland games, so he was getting wicked, but he did get some tap at points. But yeah, there's nothing. I mean, Man's also just 23, so he at least has that going for him. Yeah, I mean, a tough England game per se. I mean, it's a situation where if we had only 5 bowlers, Man would have made a century with the ball. So he's getting there. Yeah, it also consider how no one really ended per se with a good spell. Like, everyone was going pretty well, and then you see in Seals, he got the 4 for, but still for 84 runs in 9 overs. Alzari ended up with 2 for 69. Greaves 2 for 68. Yeah, it's tough, but there's still improvements in a lot of these aspects. So that at least is good to see. Okay. I'm also trying to plan something fun to do here. I have a few things pulled up, so I'm trying to see if I can get it done. I think I was going to do something with that tier list, but I'll try and do that after or during our next drinks break. But I was going to think I could probably do it during the innings break and discuss a few other things in terms of cricket elsewhere. But usually just that. Okay, let me go back to putting up this score. Okay, they're showing Carty versus Seam. Well, they're showing the side angles. I can't really tell, but it looks like he's done alright against some of the slightly shorter balls, I would say. Okay, 182 for 2 after 32. It's better than was it like 160 all out? So there are improvements, massive improvements. Hello, Afina. Okay. Chanel So and Jadawa Joseph, Amrita, Ramtahal, Trevor, very young best players. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'm now starting to get back more into women's cricket. I know Masha would talk about it and saying that well, CCP focus a lot on women's cricket, but I'm starting to learn a lot more about it. And I feel a lot of it had to do with seeing some really good franchise women's cricket. So I mean, there were some very, very good games in Women's Premier League. Some of the it's a Blaze, I think it's T20 Blaze in England. I got some of the test matches. I mean, women's cricket is on the rise now. So you would honestly hope to see like more young players get into it. I do have some of my issues with the women's team, but it's stuff that can work itself out per se. Okay. Okay, 96 from 99. Yes, Carty. Yes. I honestly didn't rate Carty for a while. I think a lot of it just had to do with looking at him in a few matches. You could just see he was looking a lot more frustrated. So you could tell he didn't, that the mentality to play that longer game or come back from getting stuck wasn't fully there. But now, the improvement is just fantastic. You have to really applaud him for it too. In terms of tests, I do still think there's issues there. But there's also potential with white ball given what we've seen in CPL. I think that one we still have to keep an eye on. Okay, that one was also kind of. Okay, no, I just missed the stumps. Okay, I got scared there. But okay, everything's good. Yeah, 'cause we seen him have that power game in CPL, so I'm curious to see if that's something he could do, not just consistently. Well, yes, consistently, but to say that okay, you are designated at 3 or 4, or if wickets start to fall, you could be that person to come in, kind of hold it together, and then show that you've got that power game. Was it the edge? It was not. Okay. Using jacks like Mo and Ali? Honestly, yes. Mo and Ali is kind of a very, very... Well, no, that's a hard word for Mo and Ali, like a very specific rule of... we trust you to contribute with the batter and just come out and lash ball. But you also need to be in the capacity to say that we could count on you with the ball if need be. So he has that going for him. Yep. Hope slices it. No one there, so that's good. Also, big up TKR supporter. I was when you said he came across the channel accidentally. Can you explain how? Or was it something in particular that you looked up and you just happened to find this? Because I've gotten a few people who say they've... a lot of people are just from the CCP community. For what I know, there's a few people have just put in random WhatsApp chats like, hey, follow me, please. And then that's really it. A few people said they would have joined from some of the CCP streams, but there's that. Yes, I do hope some of the players grow from strength to strength, because a lot of the issues I have are that no one seems to have a defined rule. Because I was looking at some of the players, and in the span of like a year or two, you see people batting between opening and batting like from up till 8. So it just for me it's a little concerning of how no one seems to have that defined rule. Well, or rather they're trying to put people in the role when they might not be ready for it as yet. But yeah, I do it's stuff that I think will work out. But I just want to see I don't want to see more situations where we get a good start from Haley or Kiana Joseph, and then no one else could kind of contribute, because we've seen Zeta James get stuck quite a few times. So we just want it to be a situation where momentum just keeps getting sapped away. Yes, we have to get 300. No doubt about it. I don't think... well, they had that massive push against Ireland, but because it was Ireland a little bit. But I think in this case, they have to know that way above 300 is what they need. Well, not say way above 300, but at least 300. Maybe like a 320 if they could. So there's that. Yeah, Carty and Paris played for TKR. Paris is an interesting one, because I think a lot of Paris is... well, how do I say this? Well, Narayan being injured gave Paris that chance in the top order, and I do think he had shown a lot of promise at times. But there were a few times where, apart from that like massive innings, there wasn't as much consistency, but there's at least someone to work with, because we saw a lot of potential in 4-day as well. And then some pieces here and there in Breakout League. Yeah, but it's also good that Carty was keeping up with Puran and Pollard, because... okay. I don't know if I could find the video, because it was during one of the CPL live streams. I'll see if I could find it, but I'll just talk about it in the meantime. It was Phil Simmons talking about how in picking young players, they needed some of them to not put pressure on the senior players. And that makes no sense to me. Like, I have absolutely no idea what that means. Like, in what world do you have... youth men putting pressure on big men like Karen Pollard and Andre Russell. That I just didn't understand. I don't know for the sense of saying that if they get out early, they need to be able to come in and continue the momentum, but still, you shouldn't be in a situation where Pollard and Russell are out and you have to count on a youth man to win you the game. Yeah. Now, that one I found very odd, but it would be good to see at least more players keeping up on that aspect. So, yeah, that would be always good to see. Okay, let me see if I can actually find it here. I actually don't know. I remember it was. I think this is it. When they were going over the squads when they had announced it, and some of the players that they had. Yeah, because they would have picked Nathan Edwards and Paris as their last emerging players. Oh, you're looking for live stream my channel? Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, Carty with his 100. Yes, I'm very behind with this stream, but yes. Thank you so much, Mr. TKR supporter or Mrs. TKR supporter. But yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I've had that. Well, I don't want to say issue, but I've had a lot of instances where I'll be looking for live streams. I just see random channels like because I watch CCP and a lot of other shows. I'm getting recommendations for more live stream stuff in general, and not just cricket. So there's at least that in terms of algorithm stuff. But the funny one for me is because I have a company phone, I've been getting a lot of random stuff on my social media feeds because of stuff related to work, but it's on my personal phone, and I don't have anything work related on here. So I just find that very, very bizarre. I find it really funny that I'm getting random ads on my personal phone for companies that I would have spoken to or know from my job. Yeah, it's just real jokes. So yeah, 35 volt without any 6. I did not realize that. No my. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Hope's looking alright. I look at some of the commentary I created for this and he was looking a little restless. I could kind of see that with that slice. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, big up Carty with his 100. That's 300s in 4 innings. Just beautiful from the youth man. Yeah. I do think, from what I've seen, there have been a few instances of Carty not having the best first game, but he has shown that he could just come through. Yeah, just big him up as well. I hope TKR probably, well, I think they would have to keep him, just given that potential. Could he be a possible opener if Narayan can't make it? I don't know. Or if well, going back to TKR, I find it hilarious that you have a big IPL owned team, big Shah Rukh Khan, and when you're looking at getting players for the next season, you're looking at Alex Hales, who's 38. You moved on from one old England player to our next old one. Yeah, I mean, Jason Wright's kind of fallen off. Alex Hales might be a little more inconsistent, but still, yeah. Okay, 25 fours. Yeah, 100 runs in 4s. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm seeing this for 6. Beautiful. Yes, Hope. Yeah, so it looks like they'll try and target Jackson here. Bettel, you would imagine, maybe, but we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, West Indies lost against Ireland, chasing same against England. Yeah, it's kind of odd where. Sorry, let me just get some water. Yeah. How do I say this? Oh no! Oh, stumped. Yeah, poor Carty. But yes, big up, youth man. Big up, good sir. Woo. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Polly is very strong, Casey Carty. I do think a lot of it, I think TKR might have helped into his mentality, because I remember seeing, I think I said it before, looking at him in not CPL, Super 50 and 4D. If he gets stuck, he just loses focus, and we've seen it with the test side. I don't know if he'll come back, but he at least has some of the potential. I think seeing how he could kind of play that long innings will be kind of maintain that strike rate. Here could really help. Looking at him for the test side, but yeah, big up Carty. Yeah, I honestly don't know what he else could add in terms of just opener. It's similar to just someone being who could be hit or miss, but you already get that with Narayan. So there's at least that. I think they said the draft would be. Well, I don't know. They said when they announce. I don't know what it was now, but I think they mentioned that the draft will be coming up soon. So there's that. But yeah, I think what they should do is draft local players first, and then look at either the emerging players, or I think I have it broken up into local players, emerging players, or breakout league players, and then come through into the overseas. Yeah, but that's a fair way to handle it. Okay, yeah, okay, they have sent in Hetmaya now. This will be very interesting to see. Okay, Hetty. Time to prove yourself. Show them what you're made of. Yeah. I'm throwing back in the link if anyone wants to come through and all talk or discuss anything. Okay, first 41 ODIs for Hetty, average just under 40, striking over 170. Last 15, striking under 100 and averaging 12. Oh, the fall from grace. Okay, yeah. CPL without Bravo is unimaginable, like Sammy and Gale. It will be very, very tough. But I just go to show how CPL has done so little in developing players that there's no icons per se. So you have to kind of, they're just Puran. But then they might just be literally, they might just have to turn to overseas players and say that, oh, you've got Tim David, you've got Faf. But still, is not much. Yes, very valid point. He does recognize develop talent. It's the same thing that we're looking at Puran. Just got to kind of try to put him into some of these teams, and it's an investment that paid off. But who said this? It was Jared Kimber. He's someone I've gotten a lot more interested in watching just from his discussions. And he was talking about Robin Utupa, and they were looking at how he had raised the point of how, just imagine how many potential players could have been lost just because there was no proper mentorship, or it could just be a case of insularity where it could have just very well been a situation where, oh, this person is very promising, but they're not a Stink Trini or a Bajan, or they might be because they're Bajan or Guyanese or whatever, and they got put into sides, or they got more inclined to be dropped early. There's always that, but yeah, we don't really have that. I feel like with losing Bravo as a player, he's a mentor now with with all the Knight Riders teams, and then he was a coach with I think with Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. So yeah, he'll definitely bring a lot. We didn't see much results per se in terms of how the teams performed because Abu Dhabi Knight Riders came last and Kolkata Knight Riders stunk it up massively. Not much of that I could imagine will be on him, but from his speaking, you can kind of see that he had some influence in looking at players that they kept. But I think the bigger thing is players that they let go. So yeah, it is. I wouldn't say that's an issue, but I think it should be in terms of what they bring. It could have a greater impact than expected. So yeah, I guess everyone will have to see how it goes. Yes. 200, yeah, that was right. They had to cross 200 by the 37th over. But they're doing, they're doing a lot better. So I would hope going into the last 10, I'm feeling 225 or so. But yeah, they're looking on course for something over 320. Okay. Al Rashid comes in, Hetty drives, they get a nice single. Okay, looking good so far. Let's see what else here. Yeah. Narayan, Russell, Gale, Pollard, Bravo. Hetty did a song. Okay. There's a discussion that I've had with a few people, and I find it very, very eye-opening in the sense of if you ask people who are some of the greatest T20 players, and there's plenty of these West Indians, but then if you go to say who are the greatest T20I players, you see a lot less of them. Well, not necessarily they're not calling those names, but in terms of where they have them ranked, a few of them a lot lower. But it just goes how to the franchise exploits showed or spoke more than what they did for West Indies. Like in the case of Puran, some of it seemed to be a lot up. Or Hetty, or what have you done, sir? Oh no. Is he walking? Okay, he reviewed it. Okay. Yeah, but apologies, I am a bit behind on some of these. But yes, oh no. I forgot what point I was making. Yeah, a lot of people talk about how the franchise exploits spoke more than what they done for West Indies, but we still call them and recognize them as good players. But it's just the issue of saying that what they've done for West Indies on the international level hasn't had as much results. For example, you're seeing Puran making 500 run seasons in IPL and all these franchise leagues, but then when it comes to West Indies, there's the dual facet of you're seeing him not contribute as much runs, as well as his keeping not being as par. So there's that not to consider. And Hetty is gone for what, 3 runs. Not ideal, Mr. Hetty. So I'm sorry to say, adios, c'est la vie. Oh no. Okay. So, this describes exactly what Hetty did. Yep. That perfectly describes it. Oh, shimmy. Yeah. But having the West Indies coaching setup, because of the franchise obligations as mentor, he might, but you'd have to. It's a bit tough. Okay, I just saw someone posted. Yes, Hetmeyer was literally Grandpa Simpson, just in and out. Lord, this man is ... Yep, that's all I could say. I mean, it was set up perfectly for him because he had the time to just come in and get that camera like he did last time. We were just like a 24 from 10. But yeah, he had that chance and he missed it. Most unfortunate. Okay. Yep, 212 for 4. And let me see exactly what happened here. Comes through and just oh, okay. Oh, bro, wrong. I didn't actually play. I wonder what would have happened if they opened with Django instead of Andrew. It's a tough one. Again, I don't know why they changed the opener in this case, because either way, all you're doing is not. It looks like you're not putting much confidence in Drew. Because if you're saying, oh, we don't see you playing, you don't play against Ireland, but you play against England. Not the best for this outing. You only got that big 6. But oh yeah, Hetty missed that line completely. Whew. But yeah, it doesn't instill much confidence that you just immediately threw him up to open, and he gets a duck. So you're not putting much confidence in the youth man, unfortunately. Yeah, it didn't get off a good start. So you could imagine that. Well, either way, you're saying that you don't want to be a situation where we're getting a good start and if he comes into the middle, he might not perform and he loses momentum. But in this case, because you're putting him to open, you're in a situation where you're putting your team in not a situation to get a good starter. So yeah, some not good. Yeah, more Hetty. Yeah, Django probably just there like, oh, I might come back next game. Yeah. Yeah, but if Rutherford was here, you'd imagine that he would just come right in. Open with Jade on it. Yeah, I'm very, very, very bold. But it's sad to say that the numbers could justify that. Yeah. But that's the next issue with CPL. Because we have so little openers that you having to turn to big overseas players to get openers, and you're not looking at any youth men. Even so, you got retired overseas players, so you're not seeing anybody who has longevity. You're like, oh, this person, I could only see them winning me a season. I'm not trying to say, can this person be in this squad and help me win seasons or help me qualify consistently? Yeah, they were based a lot on franchise stuff as well, because you see a lot of discussions of the numbers. A few of them related to franchise cricket. So on that aspect, I can see why Rashid got number 1. I think a lot of it has to do with the role he's played in helping Afghanistan. Well, him and Nabi, but I think more so Rashid. A stink run of form right now, but yeah, top 5, honestly, in terms of not just franchise, but I would say international. Yeah, Rashid and Saqib are the 2 big people who just like to mash us up. Okay. Yes, let's see what Greaves can do here. Okay. Okay, Greaves on 1. Rashid comes in. Nice push for 1. Yeah, it does seem like they've kind of slowed down a bit, given where they were. Let me see if I can check exactly where it was. Okay, halfway, we were 150, and so almost another 20 overs after, there's like a next 60 or 70 runs. Yeah, a definite slowdown, but still a pretty good score, you have to say. But it could be the difference between having to really push and get like a 320 versus having more of a platform to like continuously push and get to that 350 or so. We're 2 hours in. We're going good, folks. I got my water with me. Whew. Is John Campbell in the squad? Yes, he is. I'm surprised he hasn't. I mean, it would be tough to constantly change the opening pair in all 3 games. But I think at this point you would have to imagine they'd stick with somebody. Yeah, he definitely is in the squad. Okay. Who pushes for 1? Okay, nice. Yeah, these two just need to see out these last 2 overs from Rashid, because then they're just jacks who could throw up some battle. Maybe I don't think battle will come back, but yeah, you imagine they'd probably have to attack some of those two. Okay, well, Jax is back on now, so yeah, you'd imagine they'd have to try and attack him. In the meantime, let me look at how India A are doing against England Lions. Is it stumps or on or still alive? Okay. India 557. Yeah. Karen and I will have to play that England test. I think it's guaranteed at this point. England's doing alright. A few slip ups in the middle, but big up Tom Haynes, Matt Holden. Yeah. Okay. Let me just pop back up the score. 221 for 4. Greaves pulls it. Straight to the man. A little fumble. So okay, they're pushing for 2. Will they get it? Okay, sure, they come in good. So they get that too. Nice. I hope I guess a 5 for today in a winning spell. I mean, anyone would hope they get a 5 for. I think for me, I want to see. Oh, he did short in, but it was just a miss. Okay. Yeah. What I would like to see is a spell where they at least end well. So it's not a situation of okay, they're going well at the economy of like 4, maybe like 4.5 throughout let's say 7 or 6 overs, and then the last few they're going at like 8 or 9 and mess up all their figures. Yeah, that's all we can ask for. You want them to at least end well. with Lewis out, I've been changing up as yeah. That is it. There has been an issue with Lewis. That poor man in his groin, he just been getting lash up. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, you'd imagine that he would have to come back good. Okay, Greaves on strike. What can you do? And he okay, nice push. Yeah, it's a definite slowdown. So okay, I'll have to see what else happens here. I think it's like after it costs 250, possibly, but now it's the last 10 overs, so they know they have to. Okay. Why not try Chase to open? That one I'm not so sure about. I think in terms of consistency, Chase could give you something, but in terms of someone who could just come in and or at least have the better game in them to just start lashing and hitting boundaries. Chase does have that. I just don't know if it'll work as opener. Like if the ball's moving and seaming around, what can Chase do to not to just get out in the first 2 overs? Yeah, like but at this point, you've given Joel the opportunity to open and it didn't work. So do you lower his confidence more and put him back down in the middle order, or do you just throw up somebody else? Yeah, I would give it consistency and say either okay, that opportunity didn't work. I would go back to Greaves, but then I don't know what else you would do now. Okay, 4.43. Yeah. I would think here. I really don't even know what comes. Who comes in after this? Okay, Hope Greaves goes for a big thing. Okay, doesn't carry. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like they could have tried opening with Campbell. I mean, there are my concern with the team that we have a few people there who aren't playing. Like part of what I brought up earlier, so Kadeem, some more options for West Indies going ahead. But yeah, just one of our issues. But instead of an opening pair, you would hope Lewis would be good for the T20s. And with this also being Hope's first time as T20 captain, it would be interesting for me to see if Powell is not on that squad. I have a bad feeling he might not be. But yeah, just it would be a little sad, but it's the one that you might expect. Okay, I think my feed might have paused. Oh, never mind, it's good. Okay. Okay, no run there. 231 for 4. Yeah, they're still alright, but they could very well be 250 by now. Yeah, they at least, but because they have options now, but they already have some save with Rashid. It's at least restricting them so that they know they have a good few overs of spin left. So they know they have to be at least more careful and not of just going for that bigger push slightly too early. Okay. Oh, yep, Rashid comes back on. Yeah, Mahmood. Only 2 left. I'm thinking maybe 40th. Sorry, 40th and 50th. The way it's looking. I don't imagine. Well, okay, let me look back at who else is left. I don't see Battle coming back. Ada will ball his 10. Well enough, you'd have to have probably some of Battle to make up because you only have 4 left. But then you have Cast as well, so that's 2, 4, 5. You still need 8. Rashid is giving you 1 now. So just, yeah, I feel like it would have to be Battle or somebody will have to come back in. Yeah, they're making the 200 look a little less. Yeah, Phil Sauce does love the West Indies, but he doesn't like the ODI format. Now, it's very possible to have him start to come good during this tour or during playing us. But there's at least that good part. I just saw a very funny picture. Where is it? I just saw it. How come they don't have it uploaded? It's of Hetty just flinging his bat after getting off for 4. Yep. Oh, and Panda has come back to confirm that she is right. Greaves was indeed better than Hetty. Yeah, man, just missed his chance. Give Jula another chance at opening. Yes. Just because, Greaves goes and gets the next 4. Nice. Beautiful. Yep. So, yeah, I do think they would have to, because either way, if you drop him back, you say, okay, we're going back to your preferred position, but that could also affect his confidence. And if you keep him as open and it doesn't work again, that'll also be bad for his confidence. But it's at least enough to say that we're continuing to have that faith in you. Oh no, my feet has died. Oh dear. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh no. I hope I'm not. What did I miss? The good thing I have quick info pulled up right on the side. Okay. Okay. Next 6 from Hope. Okay. Okay, it's good now. Okay. 2, 43 for 4, 8 overs left. Yeah, they're making a 320 or 330 looking a lot harder. I didn't even realize this. So I'm 6 hits in now. Yeah, I'm still behind. I think I might have just missed it while I'm trying to put the feedback on, or it might have not happened as yet. So let me just wait for this ball to see. Let me check the commentary. Yeah, I think it's about to come up. Whew! Clean. Oh, fling it into the crowd. Beautiful. Yes. Yes, hope. Next 50. 28 to 50 to go with 1700s. Yes. Quality of the man. Yeah, if Campbell's flying back, why is he on top? He's not playing. Valid. Yeah, I do think Campbell probably could have gotten a game, but yeah. Pardon me. Okay. Yep, 250 is up, so we're looking good for 300. But it's just how much above 300 can we manage now? It's starting to look less and less. I'm starting to feel less confident in like a 320 or so. I'm trying back in the link. TCAR support or anybody, did anybody want to jump on call and discuss anything regarding the match, or if not, that's alright. We just here to watch and enjoy the cricket. It's been going good so far. My worry was just that slow down in the middle. What are y'all thinking? I'm feeling 320. Next 70 runs, I think it's possible. Maybe a bit more so now that Hope looks like he's getting more confident. Gets a nice 4. Nice. Okay, so let's see. Yep, 2 for the job. My thing has crashed again. Not too good. Okay, let me just jump to cricket for 257 for 4. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I hope managed to just squeeze that York out. Okay. Ended that over. End of 43, 255 for 4. 255 for 4. Okay. Yeah. Who has overs left still? Did Rashid pull out? No, Rashid has one more. Do they bring Rashid back now? Or no, they bring in Battle. Okay. Yeah. It helps having all these extra spinners because at least have the opportunity to say that, while one pace man might not be working, you could just squeeze in an over at the end and hope it works out. And I feel like it. It worked. It worked for England. I'm seeing it here on commentary while I'm pulling up my feed. Greaves holds out. Bowl battle caught Duckett. Yeah, looking a little less confident now. Yeah. Okay, who comes in next? Chase. Yeah. Do you throw in Ford just because of that chance, or do you like say okay? Let me throw in Chase, or okay? Do you throw in Ford in the hope that he could recreate somewhat or something of what he did against Ireland? Or do you say we need some more stability, so we just don't keep losing wickets? Let me put in Chase. Let me see what they do here. It is. It looks like this is coming out now. Did they get a long break? Was it? Oh no! My feet had failed again while I wasn't looking. I don't know what happened. I was really seeing Greaves get out. I look back up and then I see a man fishing. I don't know what happened. Jokey. Yep, Greaves is gone. And in comes Ford. Yep. Yeah, and Bettle flings it down leg side. Josh doesn't get it, so they sneak in a 2. Okay, good. 261 for 5. Yeah, Hope has to stay there because how it's looking. If Hope goes, I don't know if we'll make it to 300. It's not looking as good. It's looking dicey. Yep. Okay, I'm actually even more behind now because I'm now seeing Greaves get out. Okay, let me try a different channel and see. Yeah, I think the delay caused me to get even more behind. Unfortunate. Yep. I mean, it's hard to tell with West Indies if the slowdown is a result of the pitch or if it's just us because of all that spin. But yeah, we just have to keep it going. Okay, I'm not seeing anything here. I don't know what's happening. I hope my thing didn't just shut down. Okay, I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay, Ford's now walking out. Okay. Yeah, I am not seeing it anymore. I don't know what happened. Like I'm seeing match coming up sooner, and I'm not seeing anything. I cannot explain this. Okay, this channel showing an IPL. What's happening here? Oh yeah, now he now fired the wide down leg side. Yeah, I don't want to be this behind. Okay. Yeah, bear with me, folks. Let me see if I can fix this. Yeah, I'll just. Okay. What I might have to do is just. I'll just throw it up on thing for now. Yep, that should be fine. And let me just throw it up there. Yeah. I just doesn't cut off. But honestly, doing alright. Where is this? Yeah, 268 for 5. Up for the umpire's call. He's good. And Hope swings it away. Yeah, Hope's record has gotten a bit better. From seeing some of the highlights, he looked a little thing, but yeah, he's looking a lot better now. Okay, let me see. Can I find this channel here? I don't think I could anymore. This stream might have died for me. But let me see. What are you feeling on scores? It's looking 300 is looking better now. But how much above 300 do you think? I'm staying firm with 320. I think that's what we'll probably end up with. That's honestly what I'm feeling right now. Okay, that's not showing anything. Let me go back to this. Up, straight up, and taken by Brooke. Ford cannot replicate what he did against Ireland. Oh, Shafine, we miss you. At least it's not Hopper. So, yeah, we have that chance to still get up there. Our series win against England give me happiness every time. I would hope that we do. I think the issue is just it's not looking as good this time. Okay, where they at now? Yep, unfortunate for Ford, but is what it is. Okay. Let me see if I can fix this now. It's still giving me some issues. Yes. Okay, 268 for 5. Well, no, it'll be 68 for 68 for 7. Chase has nicked off first ball. We are farting now. Oh, we tried to do this. But
No.
it's falling apart, folks. We are in trouble. Yep, breakfast seems already knocked out, so he should be on his way. I don't think he can make it for the next ODI. It's possible, but I don't think he'll jump straight in. He'll definitely be there for the T20s. So yeah, Ford goes. Chase is gone. Yeah, everyone was right. Mahmood does love to mash us up. Mahmood, Adil Rashid, and Phil Salt in T20s at least. Okay. Well, next is Alzari. So Alzari, show some fortitude. Don't fling away our next wicket. Yes, they are villains. They are mashing us up. Mahmood again. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But okay. Well, Chase is now walking in. Yeah, I checked. I checked every other channel, and it is still very, very behind. So I really don't know what's happening here. Well, let me see Chase's dismissal now. I'm hearing it might be bad. Oh, yep, it is bad. Oh, there. Wait, not Alzari, Moti. Yeah, I forgot about Motes. Yeah, so he comes in. Yeah, so Moti, Alzari, and Seals, and Hope. Yeah, it's up to Hope to take us to 300 now. Because all of a sudden it's looking closer and closer, like 280 or 290. We are slipping away once again. Yep. Big edge on that toe end on 40. Painful, but that's just how it is. Okay. Let me start preparing some more stuff to do in the drinks break. I have one thing lined up here. I tried to do a next thing, but it was just giving me way too much trouble to try and fix it. I'm trying to do a tier list. Well, I have one set up, so I can look at that in between. Then the next one I could probably make as its own video or as a separate live stream. So I'll see about that too. Okay. T-Car supporter, what score do you think they'll end up with? My 320 is looking a lot less confident. But what are you feeling? Shubham, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it really is just up to Hope right now. But the other issue is now, because they have so much overs left of spin, they have the opportunity to start throwing it at Moti and try and get more wickets. So that's the next thing we have to be mindful of. That we could just be putting more pressure on ourselves. I mean, Moti can be capable. But I guess we'll just have to see how it goes from here. Mahmood. I'd imagine they might throw on possibly one of Bethel or Jax after this. I think Rashid still has his one left. I don't know if they'll bowl him out. But given that it's Hope and the Tailenders, you'd imagine they'd try and sneak one in. You'd honestly imagine it. Yeah, the 290. If everything gets done by Hope. Yeah, last 5 a push for 320 could still be possible. I'm holding out on that, but it's looking harder. Yeah. But if Moti gets out and it's just Alzarian Seals, Hope will have to take that pressure on him. But yeah, it's looking a bit still looking tougher. Okay, Jax comes on now. Let's see what he can do. Okay. Let me just get another sip of water. We've been going for a while, but it's been good entertainment. Yep. Okay, Jax comes back in. Moti, whoo! Big swing, and it goes all the way. Yes, it does. Yeah, nice from Moti. Giving Hope some help. Yeah, decent attempt to stop it from going for 4, but couldn't make it. Oh, did they go next one? Edge for 4? Yes. Was it edge for 4? It was almost over flick for 4. It just helped it on the way. Good from Moti here. Yes, TC will be very, very happy with this. That's Moti's mother. Jokes. Ooh, almost went back onto the stumps. Yeah, that was a close one there. Okay. Okay. Oh, England's reviewing it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, in the meantime, an update on IPL Qualifier 2 between Mumbai and Punjab is that Punjab has won the toss and Punjab will bowl. Chahal comes back in, which we all expected. But Gleason is out for Mumbai. Reese Topley comes in. That's an interesting one. But yeah, Deepak Chahar still not fit. Ooh, that's an issue. Well, Mumbai's batting first, so they could sub him in if that's the case. Yeah. Punjab, they stunk it up in that first qualifier. They let RCB go through way easier than they should have. But yeah, it's up to Punjab now to get their head back in the game. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, Moti with our next 4. Will it be? Yes, it will. King Moti. King Moti is doing the job here, people. Yes. Two hours and 45 minutes. It had been quite fun. So I hope you all are having a good time. If there's anything you want to discuss, just feel free to mention it. It doesn't have to be specific to this game. Or really just thoughts on something cricket related in general. And what I could do is always just take some time during probably the innings break and we could always just discuss some stuff. Yeah, but how it's looking, Moti's doing his job. He's getting those runs. I just hope to see him get those wickets because Marshall from CDP would have done the video on it. But his lack of wicket taking has been a bit of an issue, as well as the economy. So not to say that he's not getting wickets, but he's still going at like 2 or 3 and over. But he's going for some runs, and I guess that's where the concern is. Like, you don't want someone who is not getting wickets and starting to go for runs. Okay, Moti, 16 off the over. Yes, TKR supporter is looking closer and closer to getting that 320. So very, very, very happy to see. Yes. Okay, let me see what else we have here. Whew! Hope sends that sailing over the ropes for 6. Beautiful. Oh, amazing. Yes. Just Ada Rashid comes in and just goodbye. Deep into the crowd, almost out of the stadium. Into some trees. Yes, she. Yes. Yeah, Ada Rashid has been. He's going for runs, which is good for us. Just the wickets. Now they have to get back balls. Beautiful. Okay, ball change. Let's just see how this goes. Let me see here. Now a small update on the IPL game there. Diva Chahar is not in the impact sub, so it looks like he will not be playing. He's not fit. When I come to board, they're likely getting Ashwini Kumar. Punjab will have to get in their opener, perhaps a Brown. So those two are set. Hope sends it straight to Root. Oh, he puts it down! Oh, Joseph Root. Oh, he has bottled it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so good for us. Oh, Hope sends it straight to him. Oh, it looks like he missed it completely. It didn't go to any hand. I thought it slipped through his hand, but no, I don't think he connected it at all. Oh, but Moti looks like he won't connect at all either, and it goes up straight to Root again. Whew. Oh, there. Okay, well. Okay, Moti going. Another one for Adel. Yeah, I see that he was going for a runner ball, but yeah, going for runs. Yeah. Yeah. This is something I've liked. Well, it's a good thing from Brooks' captaincy, I guess, because I think he managed the part-timers pretty well. So knowing that, well, I don't say knowing, but because he would have the option, if West Indies fumble and lose wickets and they'll go to the tail, he has extra spinners to turn to at the end. So at least now has people that who he can try and get some of those late order wickets. Yeah. Tough, but that's just how it is. Well, Alzari comes in now, and after him is just Seals. So, yeah, it really is just up to Hope. Hope and prayers, people. Hope and prayers. This is a very, very long ad. Am I just that far behind? Yeah. Let's see. Now we're running 50 overs. Whew, yeah, I'm now pulling up the cricket info page here. I'm seeing Alzari, Lasha 6, Lasha 4, and then Rashid lashed up the stumps. Yeah, I'll take 10 from 3, but at this stage I would have hoped he didn't lose his wicket. So now we have at least. I mean, yes, Rashid would have gone at just over a run a ball, but yeah, that's a beautiful shot first ball. Yeah, but still, we're running the risk of it being all up to Hope now. I mean, yes, Alzari had the chance to just swing for it because it's the end of the over, but there's still a few overs left. So, yes, he would have to risk putting himself back on strike. But it's an issue we'll have to take. Okay, well, we crossed the 300, so I'll have to take that. 304. There's still just under 3 overs left. It'll be a little tougher. Yep, there's Alzari bowled. So sorry, I just have to respond to that message. Yeah. I hope we'll have to. Yes, I risk with Mahmood again, but oh dear. Yes, let me just respond to this as a work message. Yeah. Okay, hope gets a 4. He got something for the over at least. But it's still 2 overs after this. Yeah, and he's on. Oh, I can't see his thing. 74 from 62. Pretty good so far, you have to say. Up off the toe end, West Indies have been bowled out with 14 balls left. Yep. Um, 308 for 10. It's over 300, so I'm happy about that. But we still had plenty balls. We still had overs left. Yeah, that could have given us a little closer to 320 or above. Yeah, it's not looking as good. It's another score that we could defend. Mr. or Mrs. TCAR supporter, looks like you were right on that one. So, yeah. Yeah, it's looking tough. I don't know how we'll bowl on this one, but we'll just have to hope that Moti could come back with form and get those wickets. Yeah, it's looking tough, but okay. Well, let's do a little recap on how the innings had gone. Let me just pull it back up here. England won the toss, put us into bat. They put Julian to open. It did not work. Poor youth man going for a duck. King did all right. Slow down a little bit. Did a big play where everyone kind of slowed down. He was going really well. Got to the 50, but then just held out in the deep. Carty, big up Carty again. Getting his 100, great knocker. He should have carried on because he got this 100 and got out. Yeah, it looked like he just rushed the bowler without really seeing much. But yeah. Yeah, that was a big turning point in the game because he had 15 overs left. You'd imagine he could have. It very well could have been like a 150 or something. But is that Hetmeyer came in. Hetmeyer went. Did absolutely nothing. Yes, look at you. Minimum contribution from you, unfortunately. Yeah, Greaves did alright with his cameo. Ford didn't do much. Chase did nothing. Moti and Azari gave them a little bit more. But yeah, it literally just up to Hope at that point. Good old Hope and Perez, but he could only get, well, I don't think he could only get 70 from 66. That's still pretty good. But not much standouts from anybody else. Yeah. A duck in the top order. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 single-digit scores in the top 5. No other big scores after that. The next is around about 22. And as usual, extras have outscored. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half the team has been outscored by extras. Good old West Indian heritage. No, there. I mean, we have to take it. 308. TK supporters, right? We just have to bowl and field well because it seems like a pass score. Hell, it could be a little under par given how we slowed down. I think that in terms of fielding, that's probably the bigger thing. But yeah, quite a few dunce dismissals, you have to say. Jules just yeah, he showed promise, but yeah, just didn't fully commit. King had started going good and lost it to Carty. Just yeah, they had the opportunity, but let it go. Hope could only do so much with it, just him squandered away. Yeah, let me just put it back up here. Yeah. Give it away. You could say gave it away, but had the innings to back it up. It was literally just up to him, so you have to try and carry it. Give it away. Kind of give it away. Flung away. Yeah. Every dismissal, you can say the person just gave it away from either having not contributed anything at that point in time, or just lost it. Mass Errol. Yes. That's just shot by the Zaris and nuts, and I hope someone pelts him during the innings break. Mangoes and nuts will be flying. Oh dear. Yeah, hopefully not too much. Yes, very importantly, the collapse started after Hetty came in. Yeah, they really should have just sent in Greaves because all Hetty did was just drain all the momentum. He came in, saw conditions, and then dipped. Yeah. TK supporters also right. It just there was a little too many cameos. You could say because it's just one really big innings, 2 very solid innings, and then just a few spots here and there. Yeah, had he made a passing cameo, he was like, "Oh Gary, there I am." He was just there in the background of that commercial. If you know, you know. Yeah, the last match, all the batters from England scored 40 plus. So they at least have that consistency. For us, is a balance of everyone either making. Well, they have the side of everyone making 40 plus, but on our side, we had the instance of someone making 100, and then some 50s, and just some quick innings. Yeah, it will be tough, but yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. Sorry, yeah. Let me just get a little bit more water. Sorry about that, I just have to make a few messages for work. Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a record or something with most 30s by the top 7. Yeah, it's did anybody see anything at the post match? Not really. But yeah, that's the thing. England did put down quite a few catches or miss some chances. But it's also worth noting that we really slowed down a lot because halfway to be 147 and knowing that you have to kick on, it should have been well over 300, okay, closer to 350, but yeah, Hetty came in, played some dominoes, and then it all just fell apart. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, let me just double check in here. Okay, this is another game I'm interested to check out. No, let me just duck in here and see how this is going. 375 for 5. Haynes 153. Mosley. Mosley is a very interesting player for me because I have heard a lot of people say that there's potential, but they haven't really seen it at the 100 or as much because someone worded very well in saying that he's someone who is too much default basketball and that when it comes to batting, he will just try and go for it and get out early. Or when it comes to bowling, there's more promise there because he's like that fast spinner. But still, a little bit hit or miss. Today's doing alright. So that is that. Any other developments here? Ooh, there's drizzle. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah. Squares covered, doesn't seem to be coming down. Okay. Well, if this gets rained out, then it'll be Punjab and RCB in the final again. Interesting. Yeah. I'll check it out later if anything. Oh, this one should be an interesting game because Bangladesh and Pakistan have both been a bit down, you could say. But the bigger thing is just how down Bangladesh have been in terms of everything. Because I mean, Pakistan did start off well, but they had some very solid performances in the middle. So it's like we're seeing some stuff from PSL. We're seeing promise of people from PSL that they actually carried over their form and not just well, except for Kushal, but you're seeing people give those performances in PSL to say that they're making runs, they're getting wickets, and they actually do it here. Bangladesh just very, very hit or miss. I mean, it's literally just a few at the top, not much else. Bowling quite stink. Second game, same thing here. Pakistan got off really well, and then Bangladesh's bowling was also quite bad. Rashad shows a lot of promise, but then this is 2 games where he's gone for 50 in his 4 overs. More suffering here. I mean, Litan Das is just the man averaged 1 in ODIs. Yeah, but that's just how it is. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's looking like a half-hour break until the next innings. I don't know how much longer I have. It's been 3 hours already. What I might do is start back a next stream and go over maybe the last half of the England innings. rejoin later. Yep, thank you, TKR supporter. I appreciate you all being here. Let's see this here. TKR best batters in all eras, Darren, Colin, Puran. Yes, but I do find it very interesting how just one bad season and TKR got rid of Colin and Seifert, because Seifert has really come up in the international game. Well, he was affected by COVID for quite a long time, and I know he's come back really, really well. So he's. So sorry. I thought I didn't see myself on the layout. I thought my thing had crashed. Yes, and yeah. Monroe has done really well for TKR. They Friday let him go after that one off season 22, but he's still applying his trade in franchise. He's doing all right here and there. But yeah, some very big promise. From some of these other players. From Seifert really. Well, not promise. Like he's fulfilling more potential. I feel like that's the best way to word it. So yeah. But looking at everything else, okay, they show some highlights of England's fielding. A few chances. I think quite a few that went straight to hand and missed, and then like a few missed opportunities in the field where they couldn't just stop from going to the boundary. So yeah. But yeah, thank you, Mr. or Mrs. TKR supporter. It has been a very long stream. It would have been longer if I had just seeing Jewel get out too early was just like, nah, I'll wait a little bit to have something to discuss. So I wait for the first 10 overs, but it's been an alright showing so far. Some lapses here and there on our side and England, but it will be interesting to see how they come back. What I was considering doing during the break, or what I could do now, just as a quick little thing before I go, is do a ranking of how the West Indian players have done in IPL, because they pretty much all eliminated except for Shepherd. But it's still an opportunity to at least go through it. So we can always just debate this a little bit. But we have all the players here. I'd rank them when I first started, about sort of like who I think would do best. But with the season done for almost all of them, now's a good time to just see how to do this. Shamar did not play. I thought he would when Miller was in role, but I got in Will O'Rourke. So there's that. Well, Shamar could go straight there. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Well, O'Rourke did all right. He was horrendous in our last game, fielding and bowling. But then it's a matter of saying, do you trust someone as inexperienced as Shamar to back some of your batters when the bowling has been the big thing letting you down? Because the batting had been carrying you so far up until that point. But it's really just Shamar. Okay, D tier. Straight to D tier, Mr. Shimron. Barely anything. I don't know how to say this. It literally seems like Rajasthan just lost confidence in him. I think that's the best way to put it. Because you can't be in a situation where you have big retained player, but he's batting at 7 and 8. So they didn't give him many opportunities to bat. But even so, he could not finish games. There were of all the chases that they bottled, majority of them were literally with Hetmeyer at the crease being probably the most experienced batter, and he couldn't do it. He failed twice with 9 from 6. He failed again in 18 from 12, which is also 9 from 6, if you think about it. And then some others. But even in the one game where he came in early, if he got like 5th or 6th over, he just pulled Bumrah to the field the first ball, like absolute dunce. So yeah, I cannot put him anywhere other than the top of D tier. Power, I feel like will also go in D tier. It's literally just the one game. Well, there's 2 games. I think he didn't bat in one, and in one he was like 5 from 5. So literally nothing to judge. So I would have to put it in detail. So there's that. C tier. I feel like I have to put Russell because it's been a very, very mixed bag in terms of batting and bowling. But the weird part is last season Russell had done so well because he was batting and bowling every game. Like he had that run of form, he had gotten that confidence, and then this time we saw like almost nothing. So a big issue there. But yeah, so I feel like I have to put him in C. When I had first looked at some of these players, I had expected that I didn't expect them to. Well, Ryan would have been the obvious retain. There were the rumors of Russell not being retained but discussion were up until the day of, like well, within an hour of having to announce who he would retain. But I can see now that it was a gamble, and I don't think it fully paid off. So it's just a concern of do you see Russell being someone who could carry you in the next two seasons? Ryan maybe, but the bat definitely not anymore. But yeah. I feel like I'll have to put him in C tier. Your Mario, I feel like he has to go with B or possibly C because yes, he had that incredible 50, but other than that, he hadn't had another batting innings, and he didn't bowl particularly well. But is that one innings enough to carry him to B? I don't feel so. So as a result, I just feel like I just have to stick him in C tier for now. I feel like that's fair. Okay. Narayan. I just put everybody up here for now, so I don't have to scroll back down. And how to rank these? Okay. Do you all think Narayan is B tier? Given how everything has gone so far. Because let me look at it in terms of wickets per se. I actually don't even know how much he had gotten. But he did have a few expensive games, which is something you don't often see from him. Well, he didn't have the runs, that's the other thing. Yes, he had like very, very big impact. But yeah, it's just okay, let me see. 2025, 12 wickets. One of his high economies going at 7 and over. Well, 7.8, nearly 8 and over from Nareen. 12 matches, 12 wickets, average at 29. I mean, it was okay. Runs was barely anything for what I could tell. Well, 246 runs, striking at 170, average at 22. It's all right. It's nowhere near last year going at 180 and averaging 34. So there's that. Yeah, I feel like it'll have to be B. Oh, up later, Fina. Gotta go bike. Okay, well, have fun. If I do a start back next stream, I'll probably post it up. So if anyone could always come back and see. But I feel like I should be wrapping up shortly. Adios. Yeah, the rank better last year definitely gone to B. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like he'll stay there. Rutherford. Okay, let me just put it like this. I think Rutherford might have been B, solely because while he did have a lot of good innings, and you could say that he's seen as the replacement for Gujarat for someone like for David Miller. He had his best season, 290 runs, averaging 30, striking 150, but not to say like a 300 or 400 run season. I didn't expect it to be so much given how great the top three had performed for Gujarat. But in the opportunity that he had, while you could see he performed very well, there were a few instances where you would have expected him to be that he was expected to be that player to carry them over the line, and it didn't always happen. Now I think that's just an issue of the setup of the team, where after the amazing trio of Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill, and Josh Butler, that he would be the next experienced player. So it makes sense they put him at 4, and while he did perform there, it was between 4 and 5. I feel like him having to come in and be that experienced player and take them over the line in a few games didn't always work for them. So yeah, I feel like I would have to put them at B. I agree. Puran, I'm also the same. But that brings me to the next question of, do I put Puran in A tier? Yes, he had a 500 run season, but he had that massive lull in the middle, and that crossbar with LSG just not winning any games at all. So I feel like for me, I think by default he has to be A tier. Yes, they were close, but Puran had like that massive impact. He didn't perform like much better towards the end, but he just had that big lull in the middle. Let me see if I can pull up his last match here. So I can see his last run of scores. Oh, let me just confirm his run total. It would have been 511, I believe. No, 524. Yeah, average of 43, strike rate of 196. Incredible stuff that we hope to see more from West Indies, but that's besides the point. But yeah, looking at these scores, there's not all, but it was like 87, 61, 270s from like 25 and 35. But then there were just the lull in the middle, like 8, 11, 9, 26. And then he came back with like 45 and 56, and then didn't end out strong. But yeah, I feel like it'll have to be A. Shobhan's right. Rutherford always came as an impact player, so Puran's value was more. Yes, because Puran was able to contribute in the field. There were a few games where Rutherford was just there and not impacted in. I guess some of it varied because they didn't want to have some of their main players risk anything in the field. So there's that. But yeah, I feel like this would have to be it. It would have to be, well, Shamar at the bottom because he didn't play. Powell in D tier by default. Just because the one batting, and I think he took some catches as well. So there's that. Hetty D tier for obvious reasons. Mario's the only one who could possibly move to B tier if he performs really well in the final. But then it's just a short sample size. Russell had a larger sample size, but you could say it was average. Narayan is B tier just because of a drop in form. Rutherford, I'm putting at B because he had a very strong performance, but given expectations, it could have been a little better. And then by default, Puran, I would just have to go with A because the 524 runs is incredible. Strike rate of 200, average of 40. I mean, from a franchise perspective, you can't ask for anything more. But yeah, they're just that lull in the middle. That it very well could have been a 600 run season if you look at it. So yeah, that's the ranking for that. Yeah, and I feel like okay, with more rain coming down, I don't want to have to just have so much stuff playing in the background, like plenty background noise. It's also raining in IPL. They said rain's coming down, very windy. Oh, thank you, good sir. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen again. What I actually wanted to do was this would have been more fun to just pull up in between, but I feel like this would have been more fun because what I wanted to do was spin this wheel of all the people who played in IPL and just pick a name and decide if their team should retain them or not. I feel like this would have been incredible. Let me just do like one or two. Just to test it and see. Yeah, let's see. I'd sort of try to remove out who didn't play or was it just one game, but let's see. And it lands on Josh Hazelwood. Beautiful, perfect one to come up for the starter. Retain all the way from RCB. This man was absent, I think, was last season because of injury, but yeah. After the season he's had, after he obliterated Punjab in the final, definite retain from RCB. If it was a main auction, top 4, Kohli, Patidar, Hazelwood. I don't know if there was Yash, but Conway. Yeah, Conway, definite Flingway from CSK. he had such a great season last year. Last year in 2023, but I think after injury he just looked all out of sorts to the point of him not playing much at all. Let's do like 5. That was 2. The next one, let's see if it's a fun one. We've got Samir Rizvi for Delhi. This is an interesting one because he was from that period in IPL where they brought in all the youth men who had done really well in all the domestic leagues, but none of them fulfilled their promise. Like Rizvi, Kushagra, he did very well for Delhi this time. So it's like they had that breakout season, and then they were rushing to IPL and couldn't fulfill their promise. And then this season they've shown that growth. So yeah, I definitely think he's someone worth keeping for Delhi. Similar to Ashutosh, where it's someone who could have that impact and just come in and be that kind of player. Yeah, finished a really good match for them. Okay, ooh. We're getting some very good names from here. We got a definite one. One to debate for releasing, one to debate for keeping. And this one, yes, he's a big player for India, but given how he had a very bad season, do you release someone like this, given that KKR just had a season where they released a lot of underrated players and lost? I think he averaged, facing like 11 balls a season. Yes, it was a bad season, but it's just where he would like kind of like shoehorn in to be that finisher, so he would barely get into play. I wouldn't say release, but I think if it's another mid-season, it's something to consider because then you have someone who you have designated as a finisher, similar to Hetty, and they're not fulfilling that promise. Okay. Let's try just having fun. If I do the next stream, I can probably do a few more like this. Let's see, we've got Fruki. That's yeah, Fruki didn't play much, honestly. For Rajasthan. I don't know if he's someone that they would keep. The overseas players, none of their overseas bowlers clicked. So there's that issue, but I won't have no issue if they keep him, I have no issue if they release him. Okay. Shardul, came in as a replacement player and it worked so well for LSG in some of the early games and then just fell off. Another one where I wouldn't mind if they keep him, I wouldn't mind if they release him. Okay. Yeah, the rain's gonna come back heavy, so I'll just do this should be the last one then. Bartlett, yeah, one of the Aussie players, he's done alright for Punjab. It's punting, so you would imagine they might keep him, but you never know. You never know. Alright folks, I think that's it for me. I need to get some water. This has been a very, very fun 3.5 hour stream. Thank you all for the support. Yeah, streaming for me is the perfect opportunity for me to just sit here, talk about something I'm passionate like cricket, and just kind of help work on my speech. Because in terms of like long form speaking, that's something that's been difficult. But yeah, it's been very, very fun. So thank you all for your time. I should jump back in maybe to look at some of the England innings. If not all of it, I might just do the last 20 overs. I was looking. Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that you had fun. I see the openers getting ready to warm up. Yeah, depending on how it goes, if it's looking like England will win comprehensively, I could come back for that point. Or if England are looking like they'll struggle, I'll try to come back on as early as I can. But yep, it has been very, very fun. I should go have breakfast. Thank you all for your time, and this has been the best Werewolf Hour stream I could possibly have had. Thank you all, and I shall see you all very soon.
Tell them all the stink and dirty, stink and dirty.
Oh my God.